Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everybody. It is Monday, March 4th, and you know what that means. It's a little late, but it is time for the High Risk Wrestling Recap. I am your host, Jeremy Pierce. Revolution was last night. Go check out what just happened, but without further ado, let's get to the socials. Charismatic Creations on Facebook and YouTube. Charismatic_Creations52 on Instagram, and of course the 215 on Twitter. Website will probably be live Wednesday. But let's get into the news. A top TNA star's contract is set to expire very soon. That would be one Steve Macklin, the former TNA World Champion's contract is up this coming May. There are discussions going on about an extension. His wife currently is in AEW, but AEW does not need to be signing any more new people. AEW also, of course I say that, and AEW has signed a new person. They have Arkady Unterlinder. She's going by the stage name Arkady Orr. She will be an interviewer, host, whatever the case may be, just to lighten the load for Renee and Lexi and Alex Marvez. Tama Tonga, as we know, is done with New Japan Pro Wrestling, and there is a very strong possibility that he will be heading to the WWE. And of course, do you know where he will probably end up in? The Bloodline, because he is considered family if you look at the family tree. Keep your ears to the ground for this one. A return happened this past week, and that would be on NXT, and that would be the one Sean Spears, no longer going by the name Ty Dillinger. He is using his name Sean Spears, and looks like he will be doing his chairman gimmick. Mercedes Moné has thrown out the gauntlet to one Julia, who is finishing up with Stardom and will be helping Rossi Ogawa with his new promotion, has said, essentially, after Willow Nightingale became the inaugural New Japan Strong Women's Champion, Julia said, hey, in his recent interview, that the championship it was kind of made for Mercedes Moné, and she doesn't feel right without having faced Mercedes. And Mercedes is like, are you standing on big business, wink wink, or you just standing around? You know where to find me. This is a dream match. I'm hoping it goes down. And Julia could have really did all of this. TNA also has another new signing. That would be the one Alexander Hammerstone. He is officially part of the TNA family. He's one of the top, if not the top, free agent on the male side. That is no longer there. He's with TNA, and he immediately has a new match. Let's see, we will get Alexander Hammerstone versus Josh Alexander, round 2 at the next TNA pay-per-view. And in some sad news, we had 3 deaths last week. We had one of the originators of the Four Horsemen, Ollie Anderson, passed away. Virgil passed away, and ex-WWE star The Butcher, Paul Vican, passed away. Just keep their family in your thoughts and prayers. And last night at Revolution, AEW announced a new pay-per-view. This will be AEW Dynasty. It will be going down this April 21st. So if we go and look at the new AEW pay-per-view schedule, let's take a quick look at this right here. So we had Revolution go down. We have Dynasty coming up in April. So that's kind of close back-to-back months. They really have a pay-per-view. We have Allin. We have Wrestle Dream. I'm assuming there will be a Forbidden Door, which we know is taking place at Arthur Ashe Stadium. We have Double or Nothing. We have All Out, and we have Full Gear. So last year, AEW had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pay-per-views last year. We have 9 this year, and that's a good sweet spot, in addition to the TV specials that they do. On the injury side of things, El Hijo del Viking Go had surgery on his knee. He is expected to miss a significant amount of time. It's tough, but you know, he's a star, and he just needs to get healthy. Rey Mysterio returned back from his injury, and I think that's it. Nothing really major, no injuries really coming out of Revolution, but that's the news, and we shall be right Dynamite, we had ourselves a couple of shows, starting with Monday Night Raw with our weekend review. We had the Elimination Chamber Fallout show. So Dom comes out, and of course he's getting booed mercilessly. He introduces Mommy, Rhea. She's celebrating her victory, and of course, Mommy is always on top. Becky comes out, disrespects Dom, and she says she'll beat Rhea. Rhea says, don't ever disrespect my Latino Heat like that again. You may be the man, but everybody knows behind every great man is an even greater woman, because Mommy is always on top. Rhea counter with that. Left, and then Nia attacked Becky, and Nia was going to destroy Becky. Absolutely destroy her until Adam Pearce and security stopped her and threatened to find Nia. Sami Zayn defeated Shinsuke Nakamura, and he had an interview later on talking about how he is champion material. I think Sami might be added to the championship match between Drew and Seth. Chelsea Green says it was fraudulent that Raquel won the Battle Royal. Raquel just came out as Dominator, and that was that. Piper Niven is hurt, which is why we haven't seen her. Should have posted that in the injuries. Cody Rhodes is ready for Grayson Waller. Imperium celebrates Gunther's just dominance as champion. The Judgment Day come out and they tell Gunther that they want his championship. And the one thing I do not want them to do is to use the Money in the Bank briefcase for the Intercontinental title. We wasted it already with Theory trying to cash in for the U.S. title. Dom steps up. Gunther laughs. And there's a little heat between these guys. We'll see. We'll see. Imperium defeated the New Day in a street fight. This was absolutely awesome. Later on, Rhea's like, yo, Gunther? Really? Gunther, out of all people? Gunther? That's what you coming for? It's like in AEW with a Undisputed Kingdom. They're coming for all the championships. They mentioned all the championships except for obviously the women's titles and the TNT title, because nobody wants to come for Christian. Shayna Baszler made quick work. Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark made quick work of the way. R-Truth is happy to have Miz and DX, he means DIY, with him. Drew and Seth have some words in the ring. Drew wants, before that, first of all, still plotting and praying on CM Punk's downfall. He dedicated this World Championship match to CM Punk. Then he sat in the ring, Indian style, like CM Punk. Drew wants Seth to stop focusing on the Bloodline and Cody. Let them do their business. Focus on us here. We don't need the Bloodline. And then Seth says, but the Bloodline needs to be taken care of. What happens when they inevitably want gold, want more gold, want the world title? Both men made some really, really good points. Nia Jax versus Liv Morgan ended in a no contest after Becky attacked Nia. In the back, Liv confronted Becky and was like, yo, I was doing something out there. You got into my business. Not everything is all about you, Becky. Keep Liv in the spotlight. I really, really like this. And in the main event, Cody Rhodes defeated Grayson Waller. Paul Heyman had security with him. Eddie told Cody to keep the Rock's name out your mouth. Cody easily dispatched the security and told Paul that he's coming for the Bloodline. Paul had a phone for Roman. We all know. He also had a phone for The Rock. It's the little things, everybody. Over on Dynamite, we had our Revolution Go Home show. So we opened up with Hangman coming out on crutches, talking about his injury. And of course, it was a lie. He swerved. And Swerve came out to confront him and show him a little bit of respect. Joe was like, what the hell is going on? But Hangman wasn't injured and beat up Swerve with the crutch. The Bucks arrive and spend the whole episode looking for Sting. The BCC defeated FTR and Eddie Kingston. Takeshita and Ospreay try to one-up each other. Little bit of heat there. All monitored by Don Callis. Orange Cassidy retained the International Championship over Nick Wayne. It was a really, really good match. This didn't need to be for the title. This could have been anything else, because if Orange Cassidy has a title match on Sunday don't defend the title, because then that defeats the purpose of Roderick Strong coming for the title, because you're not going to do Roderick Strong versus Nick Wayne. Strong attacked after the match, and Trent Beretta made the save. Sky Blue defeated Chris Statlander of Stokely messed up. Chris Jericho defeated Atlantis Jr. We got a little history lesson about Jericho and his time in CMLL when he took on Atlantis Sr., who was also there. The Bucks in the main event came out looking for a Sting, and they could not find him. Darby attacked from the crowd with the fake mask on, and Sting came from the rafters, and took out the Young Bucks, who also had to put an attack down on Ric Flair. The show gets a fist, just like Raw gets a fist. Over on Impact, we had the No Surrender Fallout show. Steve Maclin defeated Speedball, and then Nick Nemeth from Japan challenges Maclin to a match at the next Impact pay-per-view, which I don't know what it is. It's not No Surrender just happened. I don't know what it is. Kaz has been suspended, obviously. Jake Something defeated Laredo Kid. Soundcheck with Khan says he's the baddest man in TNA, and they acknowledge Allin Angels and Khan acknowledge, they were in a faction together. PCO flashes in, and then we cut to commercial right before the fight breaks out. Rich Swann and Joe Hendry defeated AJ Francis and Cody Deaner. Josh Alexander challenges Dango to a match next week after Dango interrupted his interview. Ali's inauguration is interrupted by Chris Sabin, who wants to face him face to face, and the fans are clearly behind Ali. And then Sabin says, nobody likes you, and the fans immediately start chanting Ali. So they gotta figure things out here. Sabin, Kevin Knight, and Takeshita destroyed their inauguration, and Xia Brookside versus Tasha Steelz ended in a double count out. So these two will end up in a triple threat match against Jordan Grace at the next TNA pay-per-view with the Women's Championship on the Knockout Championship on the line. And the System defeated Eric Young at ABC, and it was like a really good domination. They looked good here. Good show. Over on SmackDown, we had the Elimination Chamber Fallout show. The Rock's segment ran long, so the Bloodline comes out, right? Sans Rock. They do not acknowledge Roman Reigns, who's just pissed, and he's like, "Let's just go. We out of here. I fulfilled my obligation." And Paul's like, "Yo, we gotta wait for The Rock." And Roman's getting annoyed. Someone's turning on someone. Rock comes out, does Rock things, talks about crack and meth, and challenges the team of Cody and Seth to a match at WrestleMania. And if the Bloodline wins, Cody versus Roman will be Bloodline rules. But if the Bloodline loses, there will be no Bloodline for Cody's match. I'm curious. I'm looking at the direction. I'm curious to see where we're going to go here. Before The Rock says, "If you smell what The Rock is cooking," Roman stops and says, "Listen, I'll do anything for my family, but I need you to do something for me. Acknowledge me." And The Rock acknowledges Roman Reigns as the tribal chief. And then The Rock does, "If you smell," gives the mic to Roman, "what the Bloodline is cooking." They put the ones up. Rockstar does the L, but Paul Heyman staring at The Rock. It's the little things, people. That's why Paul Heyman is so good, who's also going into the WWE Hall of Fame this year. LA Knight is looking for AJ Styles. Waller sells out Theory to Orton. Waller's getting a little Theory's getting a little tired of the shenanigans. Tiffany Stratton defeated Naomi. I have no idea why Naomi came back. You came back, you were in the chamber. Yes, you looked good in the Rumble. Now you're losing to Tiffany Stratton. What was the point of coming back in a crowded roster? You could have stayed. Obviously, you probably wanted to be with your husband. I get that. You could have stayed in TNA and been a star. You could have stayed in TNA. I don't get it. Dakota Kai turns on Bayley during their tag match against the Kabuki Warriors. Part of me thinks Dakota hasn't been fully clear yet, because Dakota never tagged in during this match. And as Damage Control are backstage, they run into Jade, and she eyes them up. Brown Breaker won a squash match, defeating Zion Quinn. Carlito defeated Santos Escobar in a street fight after Rey Mysterio returned and helped in the main event. Randy Orton defeated Austin Theory. The Rock's segment ran long, so a lot of things were cut short, like the Naomi Stratton match and the Braun Breaker match. Even though Braun Breaker should have just squad, it was Zion Quinn. Over on Rampage, Claudio defeated Ruggiero. It was trying to beat him up after the match, but Magnus ran him off. Lance Archer and The Righteous won a squash match. Riho defeated Trish Adora. The Knights, I'm referring to Soraya and her brother Zack Knight, attacked Ruby and Angelo Parker. So now the Outcasts are, I think the Outcasts are now Soraya. I think the Outcasts are Soraya, her brother Zack, and Harley Cameron. But I like it. We're slowly getting Zack some time to shine, even though we know his story, because his story is part of his sister's story. And in the main event, Magnus defeated Matt Sydal to qualify for the All-Star Scramble. And on Collision, this was the go-home show for Revolution as well. This was an okay show. Every show got a fist this week. Mark Briscoe tried murdering Buddy Matthews. Buddy was coming out for a match, and Briscoe just attacked. He was able to take care of Malachi Black by blocking his kick with a chair. He was able to take care of Brody King. Then he was trying to spike everybody. Then he tried to burn Buddy Matthews' face off. Tried to burn that man. We had a Swerve pre-tape hyping his part of the World Championship match. Dante Martin defeated Penta and Brian Keefe to qualify for the Scramble match. Hangman Page had a pre-tape as well. Mariah May defeated Angelica Riss. Toni Storm comes out, completely ignores Mariah May, and she has words with Deonna. Deonna comes out, and they're just really laying it all out there, and it ends with Deonna giving Mariah May a power driver, i.e. the Storm Zero. Max Caster, Anthony Bowens, and Colton Gunn defeated the Dark Order. I need more for the Dark Order. Willow Nightingale and Chris Statlander are ready for Sky and Hart. I love when Willow tries to be angry. It's beautiful and cute and funny. Wardlow says the same thing he said last week. Jericho comes out, rebuts, and then Hobbs attacks Jericho. Private Party defeated Matt Sydal, Christopher Daniels. Serena Deeb calls herself the final boss because Deeb's dojo is always open. I think Serena Deeb is going to be Mercedes Monet's first opponent. Thunder Rosa won a squash match in the main event. Christian Cage, Killswitch, Brian Cage, and Roderick Strong defeated Daniel Garcia, Hook, Orange Cassidy, and Trent Beretta. Last one went down on Collision. As for our matches of the week from Monday Night Raw, Sami Zayn versus Shinsuke Nakamura, and Imperium versus the New Day in a street fight. That street fight was so great. Just didn't want to have a New Day losing in Black History Month. You know what I mean? From Collision, that 8-man tag, Christian Cage, Killswitch, Brian Cage, and Roderick Strong versus Dan Garcia, Hook, Orange Cassidy, and Trent Beretta. From Revolution, this match was overshadowed because of the two matches that came on after, but Eddie Kingston versus Bryan Danielson for the Continental Crown. Go check that match out. From Revolution, Will Ospreay versus Konosuke Takeshita, and of course, the main event, Darby Allin and Sting versus the Young Bucks in a tornado tag match for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. It was just like every match doesn't have to hit on a pay-per-view. You just need to have, depending on your number, you just need to have a couple strong ones that carry the show. And Revolution had 3 of them that absolutely carried the show. Our star of the week, of course, it is Sting and Darby Allin. But that is our show. Come back this week. We had what just happened yesterday. We got the 2K24 ratings coming up. We got a Flashback Friday. And of course, we got the High Risk Wrestling Podcast this Saturday, episode 166, The Woman of WrestleMania. Don't forget to check out the socials, Charismatic Creations on Facebook and YouTube, Charismatic_Creations 52 on Instagram, and of course, the 215 on Twitter. That is our show, and I will see you when I see you. Peace.